Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, June 10th, 2016. My name is Christian. We're looking at the U.S. markets today, starting off with the S&P 500 Large Cap Index. This is a 6-month chart. Each one of these candles represents 1 day of trading activity. Actually, it's not 6 months, it's almost a year. Anyway, the main thing I want to point out here is that every one of these candlesticks is 1 day of trading activity. So this week, you saw this little rally going on right here, and then as of Friday, it gave it all back. So this is very, very important. It's a little preview, if you will, of what I've been warning for the past couple of weeks, that this rally right here is not sustainable. All right, you got the high point here on the force index, lower high here, and still lower here. It's just trending down, the force index, right? The same time period, prices continue to press higher and higher. This is a bearish divergence. Basically, it runs up to the upside, doesn't get supported, and it falls away. All right, you see the same thing happen back here, high point here, lower high on the force index. Okay, so every time you had to run up here, someone's, oh, it's going to get a new high, it's nothing, it's going nowhere. It's nothing that I can actually trade. It may actually make a new high. It doesn't actually make me jump on board. I have to have the support of the indicators. Without that, there's nothing here for me to trade. Also, don't just look at one indicator. Like, for example, the point of the force here, I've also been pointing out to you guys repeatedly, look at the MACD. High point here on the MACD, lower high here. Alright, so this is trending down, same time period, price is going higher. It's not supported by this indicator or this force index. In fact, anything when you fall below the MACD falls below the zero line, right here, when you fall below that, you can turn into that bearish market like you saw back here. Okay, you got this activity. So in this situation here, this here, and now you're getting up here like you're rolling over. If you roll over right here and you fall back below the zero line, you're going to get some more of this activity going on, this big sell-off here. So this is not a place that I want to be a buyer at this point in time. Also keep in mind you've got the Fed next week. Another way to look at these markets is simply compare them. We looked at the S&P 500. Now let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You'll see that this little rally that you have right here does not take out the previous high point here. Okay, so this is being price activity. It's in line with the force index having a high point here and then trending lower from that point. So it shows a peak in price activity that makes sense. It's not something I would be a buyer of at this point in time. Remember, I've showed you guys in previous videos, I like to have a bullish divergence if I'm going to get long, like I had back here, right? The low point here and the higher low here, right? Price doing the same time period. You got the low point here on price and lower low here. Overshoot to the downside. I like that situation on the bull side. Bearish side, like the exact opposite. But the main thing to point out here is this is not where you go buying. Okay, so I'm not going to be trying to guess what the Fed's going to do or all that other hogwash. So I'm just going to set out the market like I've been doing and continue to watch for a good trading opportunity. And this just isn't it. Quick glance here at the Nasdaq just to top this whole thing off. You can see we have actually come up and tested this previous high right here. May have beaten it by a point or two there, but the basic overall story remains the same. A lower high, if you look from this high point here and this high point here, much lower than you had here, right, or here, and that is supported by your force index, right, and also by the MACD. So when you look at the force index, the high points going lower and lower, okay, at the same time period you've got a high point here, lower high still. This is not something that I'm looking to be a buyer of. This is a very dangerous situation in my opinion. God bless, take care, enjoy your weekend, and be safe.